Everything fell apart exactly 3 weeks before our wedding, but here's the thing. I didn't know it was falling apart until I got that text message. Looking back now, from my air-conditioned office in Dallas, where I'm making more money than I ever dreamed possible in Phoenix, I can see all the signs I missed. But at the time, I genuinely thought Sophia and I had something real. I'm Zachary, by the way, electrical contractor, or at least I was in Phoenix. 29 years old, pulled in about 75 grand a year, running jobs for construction companies around the valley. Not wealthy by anyone's standards, but comfortable. I own my work van outright, had a full set of professional tools that cost more than most people's cars, and I was building something solid. Sophia knew all this when she started dating me 4 years ago. She was a marketing director at Pinnacle Real Estate, one of those companies that specialized in million-dollar homes for wealthy transplants moving to Arizona, made about $95,000 herself, which I was proud of her for. She was ambitious, driven, beautiful. I thought we complemented each other perfectly. She handled the business side of life. I handled the practical stuff. We were supposed to get married in 3 weeks. That Tuesday morning changed everything. I was up on a ladder running conduit through the ceiling of a new office building when my phone buzzed. Group text from my buddy Owen, who was having his bachelor party in Vegas that weekend. The guys were all there. Owen, Maxwell, Colton, about 8 other friends from high school and work. The message was simple. Dude, your girl just told Mike she's keeping you as backup while she hunts for her real upgrade. I nearly fell off that ladder, literally. Had to grab the ceiling beam to keep from dropping 15 feet onto concrete. The irony wasn't lost on me. Finding out my relationship was unstable while literally being unstable myself. I read it 3 times before it sank in. Mike was our mutual friend, worked in real estate too, knew both of us well. He was at some industry networking event in Scottsdale the night before, apparently. And Sophia had told him openly, casually, that she was using me as security while she looked for someone better. My phone rang immediately. Owen. Zachary, man, I'm sorry to be the one telling you this, but Mike heard it straight from her mouth. She was talking to some other marketing people, and she said, quote, I'm keeping the blue-collar guy safe while I look for someone with real money. He's sweet and all, but I need to upgrade before I settle. The ceiling above me suddenly felt like it was pressing down. 4 years. 4 fucking years of my life. And I was the sweet but temporary option, like a reliable Honda Civic she'd drive until she could afford a BMW. You sure Mike got it right? I asked, even though I already knew the answer. He recorded it, man. Voice memo on his phone. He was so shocked he hit record without thinking. You want me to send it? I did. And when that audio file came through 10 minutes later, sitting in my van in the parking lot of the job site, I heard Sophia's voice clear as day. The electrician thing is cute for now, but I'm not spending my life with someone who works with his hands. I've got meetings set up with 3 guys from the real estate investment side, high net worth individuals. If one of those works out, I'll dump the backup plan. The backup plan. That's what 4 years of love, commitment, and planning a future together had earned me. I was her insurance policy against being alone. That's when I remembered something that had happened 3 days earlier, something that suddenly made perfect sense in the worst possible way. I'd gotten a call from Real Tech Solutions in Dallas. They were expanding their electrical contracting division and had heard about my work through some industry connections. They wanted to offer me a position as a senior electrical contractor, supervising installations for their commercial clients. The salary was $95,000, plus benefits, plus potential for profit sharing. It was everything I'd been working toward. When I told Sophia about it that evening, her reaction had seemed weird at the time. She'd smiled this strange, almost condescending smile and said, "Oh baby, you should totally go for it. You can go anywhere you want for work." Then she'd paused, taken a sip of her wine, and added with absolute confidence, "But if you leave me, you'll be back to beg within 6 months. Dallas will chew you up and spit you out, and you'll come crawling back to Phoenix with your tail between your legs." I'd been hurt by her lack of confidence in me, but I'd written it off as her being scared about long distance or moving. Now I understood exactly what she'd meant. She wanted me gone. She was actively encouraging me to leave, because she thought I'd fail spectacularly and come back desperate, making her look like the generous, supportive girlfriend for taking me back. She was counting on me leaving. It was part of her plan. Send the blue-collar boyfriend away to fail, keep him as emergency backup, and in the meantime, upgrade to someone with real money. The beautiful, calculated cruelty of it was almost impressive. Almost. I sat in that van for 20 minutes, staring at my phone, listening to that voice recording again. My fiancée, the woman I'd been planning to spend my life with, casually discussing my replacement strategy with mutual friends like she was shopping for a new car. That's when I made a decision that would change both our lives forever. I called Real Tech Solutions. "This is Zachary," I said when the hiring manager picked up. "I'm calling about that senior contractor position. When can I start?" "How soon can you get to Dallas?" she asked. "This weekend." There was a pause. "That's very eager of you. We were thinking maybe a month transition period." "Ma'am," I said, "I'm the kind of person who makes decisions quickly and sticks to them. If you want someone who can hit the ground running and won't waste time second-guessing himself, I'm your guy. If you want me, I can be there Monday morning, ready to work." "Well then," she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. "Welcome to Texas, Zachary." I hung up and called my buddy Maxwell, who'd gone to law school and was now practicing family law in Phoenix. "Max," I said, "I need to break a lease and cancel a wedding. How fast can we make this happen?" "Jesus, Zachary, what's going on?" I sent him the voice memo Owen had forwarded to me. Maxwell called back 15 minutes later. "Holy shit, man. Yeah, we can definitely break that lease. Infidelity clause will cover it, even though you're not technically married yet. And since she encouraged you to take the Dallas job in writing, you did get that in writing, right?" I checked our text messages. There it was. "You should totally go for it. You can go anywhere you want for work." Followed by her confident prediction that I'd come crawling back. "Got it right here," I said. "Perfect. She can't claim abandonment if she actively encouraged you to leave. When do you want to move?" "Tomorrow night, while she's at that conference in Tucson." Sophia had a 3-day marketing conference starting Wednesday morning. She'd be gone until Friday night. Perfect timing. The universe, it seemed, had a sense of humor after all. That evening, I came home and acted completely normal. Better than normal, actually. I was downright cheerful. Sophia was excited about her conference, talking about all the networking opportunities, all the interesting people she'd meet. She kept emphasizing how this conference could be a game changer for her career. Now, I knew what kind of game she was planning. To change. "You know what?" I said over dinner, cutting into the steak she'd made to celebrate her upcoming conference. "I've been thinking about that Dallas job." Her eyes lit up like Christmas morning. "Yeah? I think you're right. I should go for it. Take the risk." She practically glowed with satisfaction. "I'm so proud of you for being brave enough to try something new, baby. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll always know you tried." The condescension in her voice was incredible. She was sitting there, planning to dump me for some wealthy real estate investor, acting like she was being supportive and loving. It was like watching someone pet a dog they were planning to take to the shelter. "You really think I should go?" I asked. "Absolutely. You never know what's possible until you try. And if it doesn't work out..." She reached over and touched my hand. "I'll still be here. Still be here. As my backup plan, my safety net, my consolation prize for when the big scary world chewed me up and spat me out." "You're amazing," I told her, and I meant it. She was amazing. Amazingly manipulative, amazingly calculating, amazingly good at playing the supportive fiancé while planning my replacement. It was like watching a masterclass in emotional warfare. "I love you too, baby," she said. "This could be such a big week for both of us." She had no idea how big. Wednesday morning, I kissed her goodbye as she left for Tucson, told her I'd loved her, hoped the conference went well, all the usual stuff. She was practically bouncing with excitement, probably already mentally composing her dating profiles. "I love you too, baby," she said. "This could be such a big week for both of us." The moment her car disappeared around the corner, I called in sick to work and started executing my plan. First stop, U-Haul. I rented the biggest truck they had. The guy at the counter asked if I was moving far. "Dallas," I said. "Big." "Move," he said. "Job opportunity?" "You could say that," I replied. "My fiancé told me I could go anywhere I wanted for work." "That's nice of her. Supportive partner. If only he knew." Second stop, my apartment. I packed everything that mattered to me. Clothes, tools, important documents, the television I'd bought, the couch I'd picked out, my collection of vintage electrical meters that Sophia always said were taking up too much space. She could have all the space she wanted now. I left the engagement ring on the kitchen counter. 3 carats, cost me 2 months' salary, and she could keep it. I didn't want anything that reminded me of being someone's backup plan. It took 6 hours to load that truck. 6 hours to pack up 4 years of my life. My neighbor across the hall, Mrs. Patterson, came out around hour 3. "Moving, dear?" she asked. "Job opportunity in Dallas," I said. "Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith." "What about that lovely fiancé of yours?" I looked at her for a long moment. Mrs. Patterson had always been kind to me, always asked about my work, always seemed genuinely interested in my life. "Mrs. Patterson," I said, "sometimes the person you think loves you is just keeping you around until something better comes along." She nodded slowly, like she understood exactly what I meant. "Well then, good for you for knowing your worth, dear." That was Wednesday. Thursday morning, I was in Dallas, signing a lease on a 1-bedroom apartment 15 minutes from my new job. The landlord asked why I was moving so fast. "Career opportunity," I said. "Sometimes you have to strike while the iron is hot." He chuckled. Electrician humor. I like that. If only he knew how appropriate that metaphor really was. Thursday afternoon, I was at Real Tech Solutions, filling out paperwork and meeting my new team. My supervisor, Janet, walked me around the office, introducing me to everyone. "This is Zachary," she said, "our new senior contractor from Phoenix. He's the one who could start Monday instead of waiting a month." "Impressive dedication," said one of the project managers. "What made you so eager to get started?" "Let's just say I had some extra motivation to make a clean break from Phoenix," I replied. Thursday evening, I was shopping for furniture at IKEA, planning out my new life. It felt surreal, wandering through the fake room displays, picking out a new bed, new dishes, new everything. Like I was building a life for a completely different person, which, in a way, I was. The kid working in the warehouse helped me load everything into a rental truck. "Starting fresh?" he asked. "You could say that," I said. "Sometimes you don't realize you needed a fresh start until someone shows you exactly what your current situation is worth." Friday night, Sophia came home from her conference to an empty apartment and a note. I'd kept the note simple. "Sophia, thanks for encouraging me to take the Dallas job. You were right about taking risks and going after what you really want. I found my upgrade. Thanks for the motivation. Zachary P.S. Your ring is on the kitchen counter. I'm sure one of your high net worth individuals will replace it with something more appropriate soon." She called me 17 times Friday night. I didn't answer. I was busy assembling Swedish furniture and enjoying the most peaceful evening I'd had in months. Saturday morning, the voicemails started. First one, "Zachary, what the hell is going on? Call me back immediately." Second one, "This is insane. You can't just leave like this. We're getting married in 2 weeks. Third one, "Fine. If you want to play games, I can play games too. But you're making a huge mistake." Fourth through ninth, various combinations of anger, confusion, and threats about how this would ruin both our lives. By the 10th voicemail, the tone had changed. Completely. "Baby, please call me back. I don't understand what happened. We can work through whatever this is." By the 15th, "Zachary, I'm sorry if I said something wrong. Please just talk to me. I love you." And finally, the 17th voicemail, left Sunday morning. "You said I told you to leave, but I never meant permanently. I was being supportive of your career. If you come back now, we can pretend this never happened." The progression was fascinating. Anger to bargaining, to desperation to revisionist history. It was like watching someone go through the 5 stages of grief, but for their backup plan disappearing. That's when I posted on Facebook. Nothing dramatic, nothing vengeful. Just a simple status update. Excited to start my new position as senior electrical contractor at Real Tech Solutions in Dallas. Sometimes the best career moves come from leaving people who see you as a backup plan. Thanks to everyone who supported this decision. New beginnings. Wland Dallas Spaciste Know Your Worth. I tagged Owen, Maxwell, Mike, and about 15 other friends who knew the situation. The comments started immediately. Owen, "About damn time, brother. Dallas is lucky to have you." Maxwell, "Proud of you for making the hard choice. You deserve better." Mike, "Some people don't know what they have until it's gone. Their loss." But the comment that made everything worth it came from my new supervisor at Realtek. Looking forward to having someone with real integrity on the team. See you Monday, Zachary. Within an hour, the post had 30 likes and 12 comments. All supportive, all congratulating me on the move. Not one person questioned my decision or suggested I should have worked things out with Sophia first. That's when I knew I'd made the right choice. Sophia called 23 more times over the next 3 days. Her mother called, her sister called, her father even called, demanding I stop being childish and come back and work things out like an adult. I answered exactly one call, her father's. "Mr. Richards," I said, "your daughter told me I could go anywhere for work and that if I left, I'd come back begging within 6 months. Well, I went somewhere for work and I'm not coming back to beg for anything." "She was just being supportive of your career," he protested. "No, sir," I said. "She was counting on me to fail so she could look generous when she took me back as her backup plan. But I didn't fail. I upgraded." "You're being unreasonable. People make mistakes. You should forgive her." "Mr. Richards, with all due respect, she didn't make a mistake. She made a plan to use me as security while she looked for someone better. The only mistake was mine. I just took too long to figure it out." He hung up on me. That was 8 months ago. Now I'm sitting in my office with my name on the door, in downtown Dallas, making more money than Sophia ever did, with a corner view of the city skyline. I've got a team of 12 electricians working under me. We're booked solid for the next 6 months, and I just signed a profit-sharing deal that'll bump my salary to 6 figures next year. More importantly, I met someone. Her name is Paige. She's a high school math teacher, and she thinks it's amazing that I can fix anything electrical that breaks. She brags to her friends about dating a contractor. She asks me to explain how circuits work because she finds it genuinely interesting. She's never once suggested I should upgrade to something better. When I told her about Sophia, she just shook her head and said, "Her loss. Anyone who treats someone like a backup plan doesn't deserve to be anyone's first choice." That's when I knew I'd found something real. Last week, Owen sent me another text message. Sophia had gotten engaged to some real estate investor she met at that conference in Tucson. Big ring, big wedding planned for next spring, the whole production. The guy's apparently worth a couple $1 million on paper. But according to Mike, who heard it through the real estate gossip network, the engagement's already rocky. Turns out Mr. Millions had been looking for a trophy wife, and he's discovering that Sophia's business ambition doesn't shut off after hours. He wants someone who'll focus on being the perfect wealthy wife, and she wants to keep building her career. They're fighting constantly about her working late and networking with male clients. Apparently, he's the kind of old-fashioned wealthy guy who thinks his wife should quit working once they're married. Sophia, who spent 4 years telling me about her career goals and professional ambitions, is now trying to explain to him why she wants to keep working. The irony is delicious. She wanted someone with money, and she got him. But money comes with expectations. The blue-collar electrician who respected her career ambitions is gone, replaced by the millionaire who thinks wives should stay home and plan charity galas. Meanwhile, Owen told me, she's been asking mutual friends about me, how I'm doing in Dallas, whether I'm seeing anyone, if I ever mention missing Phoenix. I don't miss Phoenix. I don't miss the heat. I don't miss the traffic. And I sure as hell don't miss feeling like I wasn't good enough for the person I was supposed to marry. But here's the thing that would probably drive Sophia crazy if she knew. I think about that conversation we had sometimes, where she said I'd come back begging if I left. She was right about one thing. I did come back to Phoenix. Last month, Realtek sent me back to supervise the electrical installation for a massive new resort project in Scottsdale. $40 million development, 6-month timeline, and they wanted their best contractor running the show. I stayed at the Four Seasons, drove a company truck, and managed a crew of 30 electricians. The project manager introduced me to the client as one of the top electrical contractors in the Southwest. The same skills Sophia had dismissed as cute for now were suddenly worth flying someone across the country to manage a multi-million-dollar installation. One evening after work, I stopped by my old neighborhood to grab dinner at the place Sophia and I used to go for date nights. Not for nostalgia, I was just hungry, and it was convenient. She was there, sitting at our old table with Mr. Millions, and they were clearly in the middle of an argument. She looked stressed, tired, like she wasn't sleeping well. He looked like he was lecturing her about something, pointing his finger for emphasis, talking in the tone you'd use with a child who couldn't understand basic instructions. She saw me walk in. Our eyes met across the restaurant. I nodded politely, like you'd acknowledge any acquaintance, and sat at the bar to wait for my takeout order. 5 minutes later, she appeared next to me. "Zachary," she said quietly. "Hi." "Sophia, how are you?" She glanced back at her table, where Mr. Millions was checking his phone and looking impatient. "I'm good. I heard you were back in town for work." "6-month project," I said. "Flying back to Dallas Friday." "That's great. I'm glad you're doing well." There was a long pause. I could see her trying to figure out what to say, how to navigate this conversation. Up close, I could see the stress lines around her eyes, the way her smile didn't quite reach them anymore. "Zachary," she said finally, "I want you to know that I never meant for things to end the way they did between us." I looked at her for a moment, really looked at her. She was still beautiful, still well-dressed, still everything I thought I'd wanted 4 years ago. But now I could see something else. She looked like someone who'd gotten exactly what she thought she wanted and discovered. It wasn't what she needed. "Sophia," I said gently, "you told me I could go anywhere I wanted for work. You were right. And you told me that if I left, I'd be back to beg. You were wrong about that part." She flinched like I'd hit her. "I didn't mean it that way," she said, but her voice was smaller now, almost desperate. "Yes, you did. And that's okay. It taught me something important about knowing my own worth." The restaurant manager called my name. My order was ready. I stood up to leave. "Zachary," Sophia said, and her voice was smaller now, almost desperate. "Do you ever think about what might have happened if you hadn't seen me as a backup plan while you looked for an upgrade?" I finished. "Yeah, sometimes I do. And every time, I'm grateful things happened exactly the way they did." I picked up my takeout and headed for the door. At the last second, I turned back. "Sophia, I hope you find what you're looking for. Really." She was still standing at the bar when I left, looking like someone who just realized she'd traded a bird in the hand for 2 in the bush, and the bush was empty. The next morning, Maxwell texted me a screenshot. Sophia had posted on social media. "Sometimes I wonder about the roads not taken and the choices that seemed so smart at the time." The comments were full of people telling her how lucky she was to be with Mr. Millions, how perfect her life looked, how they wished they had her success. But I could read between the lines. She'd gotten her upgrade, and she was learning the difference between getting what you want and wanting what you get. The wealthy guy who was supposed to be her prize turned out to have his own ideas about what she should be. Funny how that works. Meanwhile, I was sitting in my hotel room, video chatting with Paige, who was excited to hear about the project, and proud that her boyfriend was important enough to fly across the country for work. "How much longer until you're back?" "Home?" she asked. "Home." Dallas was home now. 4 more days, I told her, and then I'm done with Phoenix forever. That night, I got one final text from Sophia. "I made a mistake, Zachary. A huge mistake. Can we talk?" I thought about it for exactly 30 seconds. Then I blocked her number. Some people think revenge is about making someone else suffer for what they did to you. But I learned something different over these 8 months. The best revenge isn't about destruction. It's about construction. Building something so good that the person who wronged you becomes irrelevant to your happiness. Sophia told me I could go anywhere I wanted, and that if I left, I'd be back to beg. She was half right. I did go anywhere I wanted. I went to Dallas. I built a career that exceeded anything I could have imagined in Phoenix. I found someone who loves me for exactly who I am, and I discovered what it feels like to be valued instead of tolerated. As for coming back to beg, well, I did come back to Phoenix, but not to beg. I came back as the successful contractor she said I'd never become, running a project worth more money than she'd see in 5 years, with a company truck and an expense account and a woman back home who thinks I hung the moon. And when I left Phoenix that final time, driving toward the airport with the Arizona sunset in my rearview mirror, I finally understood something important about the difference between love and convenience. Sophia had kept me around because I was reliable, safe, predictable. I paid half the rent, fixed things when they broke, and didn't challenge her professionally or socially. I was comfortable, like a good pair of shoes, functional, dependable, but nothing you'd show off to your friends. The wealthy investor she'd upgraded to was supposed to be the opposite, impressive, enviable, worth showing off. But impressive people have impressive expectations. They don't just want a partner, they want an accessory that reflects their success. The blue-collar boyfriend who'd respected her independence was gone, replaced by someone who saw her career as a hobby that would end once they married. She'd traded someone who loved her ambition for someone who wanted to own it. That's the thing about treating people like backup plans. Eventually, you realize your backup plan was actually your best option, but only after you've thrown it away for something that looks better on paper. Sometimes the best gift someone can give you is the permission to leave, even when they don't mean it the way it sounds, especially then. Sophia had been right about everything, except the part that mattered most. I could go anywhere I wanted. The difference was, she thought, that meant I'd fail and come crawling back. But what it really meant was that I was free to go anywhere, including away from her. The last lesson she taught me was the most valuable one. When someone shows you that they see you, as a placeholder, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the second demonstration, and definitely don't stick around for the third, because somewhere out there is someone who will see you as the destination, not the detour. Someone who thinks your skills are impressive, not just cute for now. Someone who wants to build a life with you, not use you as a foundation while they construct something better. I found that someone in Dallas. Sophia lost that someone in Phoenix. The math on that exchange tells you everything you need to know about who really upgraded and who settled for fool's gold.